What's up, everybody? Brett Mix here, Macho Wrestling 101, here for the SmackDown review, as always, from Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York, this Friday night. Chill, grab a drink, whatever. We're going to go over the SmackDown results tonight for this December the 1st, 2023. And this is the post-show to Survivor Series, the War Games. The Raw after War Games featured the return of Orton and Punk. Tonight we get the return of Randy Orton on SmackDown. Who will he sign with, SmackDown or Raw? That was the big tease going in. Well, it would be the big tease as soon as Adam Pearce showed his face. But the big tease was, would Orton sign with SmackDown before the show began? The place looks sold out and full. We also have Waller versus Owens tonight, and Logan Paul will be making an appearance. So Bianca Belair comes out, and they show highlights of the women's War Games match, which I rated 4.5 stars at Survivor Series. Much better than the men's. It wasn't even that close either. Dakota Kai comes out with Damage Control, interrupting Bianca Belair, and says she has to go through all of Damage Control if she wants a shot at Io Sky. Charlotte comes out with Shotzi, saying that she's not the only lady that wants a shot at Io. We're all fearing that 15th title reign when Charlotte gets it. Maybe not all of us. I'm sure some of you like her, but I think she's overrated. I'm just fearing that they're just going to do a 15th reign and then a 16th reign, and then it's just not going to end for her, and she's going to break records and be the greatest of all time and all that. They're already calling her one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. And no, I don't think she's the greatest of all time. Shotzi says there's enough Damage Control to go around, so they all brawl. Bianca's music hits, so the segment ends, that means, I guess. The Brawling Brutes music hits, and Butch comes out, and he's going to take on the almighty Bobby Lashley. Corey Graves calls it David versus Goliath, and we go to a commercial. We find out next week that SmackDown is doing a Tribute to the Troops 21st annual one. Bianca will take on Air-Sane tonight. That's just what we just found out. They run into Bayley backstage. Bayley already showing signs that she's not on par with Damage Control. In a sense, that's looking like the route they're going to take, even though they teased it, even though things ended up being a little bit better at the end of the night. But as Graves said, let's let it play out. Bobby Lashley versus Butch opens up SmackDown, as I said. Butch doesn't come out with his partner, obviously, as he walked away on Raw. So he's in this match alone with Lashley. Lashley's got the Street Profits by his side. Butch slaps Lashley after Lashley said he'll break him into pieces. So Lashley laughs and says, okay, let's go. The bell rings. The fans chant, let's go, Bobby, in Brooklyn. Never knew Bobby would be so over. Flying knee and a moonsault, then another moonsault off the top by Butch to Bobby Lashley. They go to a commercial. Just a minute and a half in, and Butch is in trouble. It was all Bobby Lashley during the break. Lashley ran over Butch outside the ring with a shoulder block. And Angelo Dawkins of Street Profits goes, yeah, Black Friday comes early. Black Friday comes early. That was funny, I guess. They said that the Brooklyn Nets could use him after Lashley slam dunks Butch to the canvas. Butch spots an opening and connects with a high kick, and then an enziguri, and then more high kicks to Lashley, and then off the top, a double stomp to Bobby Lashley. Butch then stomps off one of Lashley's hands. Butch with a face buster to near fall. Butch hit a running power slam, Lashley hit a running power slam to Butch, but Butch kicked out. Lashley then with Butch cornered, but Bobby Lashley countered a high kick to the head with a big-time spear. Lashley wins at 7:06, including commercials. Pretty decent match here. I rated it 2 stars and a quarter. For the time they got, I thought they did pretty well. Now they show the men's War Games highlights. Backstage, Nick Aldis is sitting in his office, and Heyman the Wise Man walks in, asking why he invited Randy Orton, and says, does my tribal chief know? And Nick Aldis says he wants to sign him to a SmackDown contract, and he's going to do that tonight. And if he has to get through the whole bloodline to do it, he will. And then Nick Aldis said, so what are you going to do about it? And the fans go, oh. And Paul Heyman says, anything it takes. And puts the phone to his mouth as if he's calling Roman Reigns. Why isn't Roman watching SmackDown? I mean, why would he have to call him? Why can't Roman just watch SmackDown? Anyway. This was a good backstage segment because it plays on the story of tonight. It progresses the story in the long run, and then it tunes you in for later in the broadcast. So well done segment. That's everything you could ask for a backstage segment. Maybe a funny line would have been good. That would be truly everything, because you had the suspenseful line, you had the comeback line. The only thing it's missing is some comic relief, but that's okay. You don't need to get everything in every segment. Butch is backstage and says he lost tonight, and the interviewer went up to him. I'm not sure her name. It's not Jackie Redmond, so it doesn't have my attention, but she says, with your partner walking on you and you're losing tonight, you've had a bad week. And Pretty Deadly come in and they beat him up. Yeah, it's a rough week for Butch. Then Santos Escobar takes on Joaquin Wilde. Santos cuts a delusional promo backstage about Ray. Wilde with an amazing high springboard somersault plunge and a near fall as they start the match. The bell rings. Wilde says there's no going back after what Santos has done. Santos Escobar with clobbering blows to the chest of Joaquin Wilde. Escobar with a rear chin lock and continues trash-talking Wilde, who gets thrown into the corner. Santos thrown headfirst to the corner. Wilde off with a drop kick to the knees of Santos Escobar. Wilde asking for support from Brooklyn as he hits a rolling DDT mid-ring. Escobar kicked out. Santos Escobar puts his boot up and says this is what happens when you cross Santos Escobar as he hits him with a Mushinoku driver for the win at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Good for the time it went. Dragon Lee runs out at the end and goes for Santos Escobar as he puts his arm up and leaves the ring. He comes in from behind, Irish whipped, and then a Hurricane Rana to Santos Escobar by Dragon Lee. They're previewing their tournament match next week, but we'll get to the tournament in just a second. Rate that match 2.5 stars. It was good for the 4 minutes it lasted. Dragon Lee continues checking on Joaquin Wilde as the fans chant Dragon Lee. So the LWO situation heats up some more this week as Santos Escobar defeats Joaquin Wilde and Dragon Lee comes in to support him at the end. Logan Paul is shaking Nick Aldis' hand backstage and they say he's out next. Back from commercial, Adam Paul says, tell me you're not going to sign Orton tonight. Adam Pearce, I should say, not Adam Paul. Adam Pearce says to Nick Aldis, tell me you're not signing Orton tonight. Adam Pearce says he's going to join Nick Aldis as he has a Raw contract for Orton. Then Logan Paul, the Maverick, who's wearing the U.S. title on clothes this time at least, comes to the ring. Logan Paul says to every hater, to any doubter, I'm paraphrasing, where you at now? The harder he works, the more he wins, the more he works, gets better, and goes, ga 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 ya, or whatever he said. That was just a bad attempt to a bad line, but he made it work because he's Logan Paul and he makes everything work, apparently. Apparently he's just good at everything. He says the title has been on his junk just like all of you have been since I got here. That was a good line. Paul says he spoke with Nick Aldis, and there will be a tournament with wrestlers to determine the new number one contender for the U.S. title. I'm guessing this will be at the Royal Rumble. I'm guessing the tournament will make a number one contender for the Royal Rumble. That would be the only logical decision, I would think. With tournament, that would be sufficient enough time for the tournament to end. Dragon Lee will take on Santos Escobar in the tournament, and Lashley will take on Karrion Kross. Also in the tournament is the likes of Kevin Owens, an NXT star that hasn't been named. I think Austin Theory too, and someone else. Either way, there'll be 8 guys in the tournament in total. Kevin Owens then interrupts Logan Paul. The tournament should be good. I love tournaments. I know they're scripted by some guy with a pencil, and I know it's just that simple, but I love them. It makes me think of the old pay-per-views like King of the Ring 93, Survivor Series 98, WrestleMania 4. Some of them were booked horrendously, but they just bring such nostalgia. They make the matches seem important. I like also when they try to beat the time limit. Like if they put a 15-minute time limit for the first match, I like when they do that because then it adds intrigue. It makes it like these guys got to wrestle fast. They got to beat the time limit because if the time limit comes, then they're both disqualified from the tournament. So I like when that happens. Anyways, Kevin Owens says it only took him 6 seconds to realize on that Vine online on this Vine app that he was a jackass. But Paul says that 6 seconds is 5 more than he'd need to beat him if they go face to face. Then Grayson Waller comes out with Austin Theory. Waller says he's just a troll trying to get attention. Some idiot tries to get an Austin Theory chant started in the crowd. He's literally one guy and he's going, Austin Theory. This promo has been engaging, at least it was. KO says, let's do it. And Paul smiles, and there'll be more of this you can expect. KO takes on Waller next. Owens dominates the match with Waller. Paul on commentary says he was built for this. And when the brass knuckles gets brought up, he says, I don't know what you're talking about. Was hilarious. Owens charges at Waller, who rolled out of the ring, and then Owens gets his head slammed on the table. Owens I wasn't a fan of initially, but he's won me over, and I'm not talking about recently, obviously. It's been about a half a decade since Owens has won me over. I liked him in NXT, but I didn't like him on the main roster. I thought the name Kevin Owens, he just needed more of a character. He had no gimmick, and obviously I couldn't get past the look. Like, you know, the chubby guy that doesn't look like Logan Paul. But no, he won me over. He won me over a long time ago. So I'm an Owens fan now. I knew he had wrestling skill even when I didn't like him, but he's definitely won me over. He can talk, he can wrestle, and he's got passion, and he always tries to be a better version of himself. So you got to give him props. Waller with the hand breaking him down on the canvas floor. It looks like Owens' hand is broken, says Michael Cole. And if that's the case, he may be taken out of the tournament, whether it's scripted or not. We'll see. They tend to do injuries and storyline in tournaments. That way they don't make everyone look weak. That's the risk you run. And when you do a tournament, everyone else loses and there's just one winner. So it's a reason to book with that if that's the route they go down with Owens' sore hand. Owens with the cannonball, and Logan Paul says that's a lot of weight. No wasted comments with Logan Paul. They all mean something. He's a guy I don't want to like, but I can't help but like because he's good at everything he does. Cole says that's the hand Kevin Owens uses for everything. Okay. Owen gets a roll up, a victory. What does Michael Cole know that we don't? Never mind. I don't even want to know. Owens gets a roll-up victory as they targeted his hand, but he uses the other arm and rolled up Waller. Theory and Paul can't believe it either. It happened with the good hand, says Graves. Bianca Belair, one-on-one with Kairi Sane in the match main event of the show, the match portion of the main event. She tells Bayley to stay backstage tonight. There's trust issues. Bianca Belair in the main event was Sane, the former Mae Young Classic winner. Belair with a backflip and a shoulder block. Both these ladies made their names in NXT. Bianca Belair swings her hair for the crowd. Same with the head scissors. Bianca Belair blocked it by doing cartwheels around Sane. Literally, she did cartwheels. Sane then tug on the hair to gain advantage. Charlotte then gets thrown out because she's with Shotzi cheating at the ringside. A Flair cheating? Never. So now it's Bianca Belair and Kairi Sane one-on-one. Back from a commercial. Still the Orton contract signing to come. Sane with a modified Boston Crab submission. When we get back, Bianca Belair powers out and runs shoulder first into the ring post as Kairi Sane moves. Close near fall for Sane. Kairi Sane then folds the arms and chokes out Bianca Belair, torquing the wrists in a submission hold. Sane is scoop slammed by Bianca Belair, who trash talks and gets up another slam. The EST is the angriest, says Graves. The good thing about the women's division on SmackDown is no Nia Jax. Just thought I'd throw that random comment in there. No Nia Jax. Bianca Belair almost gets the 3 as Sane kicked out after her version of Rolling Thunder. A go behind waistlock, but Kiri is dropped as it looks like a botch. She just went for a pin because she didn't know what to do because I think the move botched and she landed flat on her back. A big back first by Sane to Bianca Belair in the air. Kairi Sane sets up Bianca with a suplex and a close near fall. A big crossbody, a forearm to Bianca Belair by Sane. Bianca Belair with power lifts Sane up and then hits her with the KOD. The Kiss of Death by Bianca at 10 minutes of TV time. I rate the match 3 stars with Bianca Belair and Kairi Sane. It was a pretty great match. Next, the Orton contract signing as both GMs walk to the ring with contracts in their hand. They advertised tournament matches next week. They had advertised Charlotte versus Asuka as well as CM Punk next week for the 21st annual tribute to the troops. Orton comes out with a vest and RKO chants fill the arena as he takes off his vest and throws it. Seth Rollins in the world title, says Pierce. The Bloodline, says Aldis. Those are the 2 motivating factors for each GM to get Orton to sign with their brand. Then all of a sudden we hear, "Ladies and gentlemen." Heyman then joins the party and says no RKO tonight. No decision making because Sikola and Uso will make the decision for him. Orton then goes at it with both of them as they attack him. LA Knight's music hits and the megastar dishes out Yablos. So we can already see next week it's probably going to be LA Knight and Orton versus Sikola and Uso. But they do brawl. And I forgot all about LA Knight, to be honest, which is not a good thing. I forgot about him until his music hit. So it's a great idea to have him come out here. The megastar was over as the crowd chants yeah as he hits on Uso and Sikola. Adam Pearce is trying to show Orton a contract while Orton's got a dude in a DDT. It was hilarious. Pearce is just like, here's the contract. Sign it. Heyman says, go to Raw. You're safe there. Orton takes the 2 contracts and signs with SmackDown to get his revenge with the Bloodline. Heyman's unhappy. I'm surprised there's no Who's Your Daddy chance this week. I thought that would catch on. It still might, because Orton says, call Roman and tell him Daddy's back. Now they'll chant Daddy, but his entrance theme hits, so they can't chant Daddy. But I'm thinking they're going to say, Who's Your Daddy on Raw. Those chants will surely carry over, and I think there'll even be a t-shirt. Michael Cole says, the ultimate mic drop. Daddy's back. RKO to Aldis, even after he signed his contract, because Orton does what he wants, when he wants. Nice touch to end the segment there. Heyman then says, call Roman Reigns. Again, why can't Roman just watch SmackDown? You think he'd be interested in this. Not only his Bloodline, but Orton's back. You think he'd want to know what's going on, especially with Heyman giving him updates all throughout the night. Anyways, that would just be a minor nitpick. I'm just nitpicking something minor. The show was solid tonight. Nothing great, but nothing bad either. Everything flowed pretty smooth. I'd give the show a solid 6 out of 10. So that does it for SmackDown this week. Be sure to tune into my Raw review after the 3-hour episode this Monday night on December the 4th. And be sure to visit my channel tomorrow for week 4 of the Monday Night Wars, Raw and Nitro. I have them archived into Nitro and old Raws for whenever you want to relive the Monday Night Wars. Also Sunday, I'll have a new In Memory Of video out for a deceased wrestler. So tune into all those videos. Stay subscribed and notified for SmackDown December the 1st, 2023. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out. Thanks for watching, everybody.